Okay, good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to present about my classroom exchange research proposal draft. The title is Improving Student Speaking Proficiency in Using Cooperative Storytelling Strategy. This is the table of content. There will be 3 chapters. The first one is the introduction. Chapter 2 is review of related literature. And the chapter 3 is research methodology. Now let's start to discuss the chapter 1, introduction. This is the background of the study. Humans are created to communicate with one another. They use language as a tool for communications. And communication speaking skill is practiced. So in this case, every student has a problem with speaking. And to solve this problem, different techniques are used in teaching learning activities by the teachers. Different approaches have been implemented in order to increase the performance of the speaking skill, especially based on my experience, it is in vocational high school. The storytelling is a method proposed for learners to be exposed to new vocabulary, real context, expressions, and pronunciation in oral production. In vocational high school, learners are uncommon to this cooperative storytelling strategy. Therefore, this method also challenges the teachers in delivering it. As an example, and this is the research question: how does cooperative storytelling strategy improve students' speaking proficiency in vocational high school? There are 2 hypotheses. The first one is alternative hypothesis. It is that cooperative storytelling strategy does improve student speaking proficiency in vocational high school. And the null hypothesis is cooperative storytelling strategy does not improve student speaking proficiency in vocational high school. There are 2 objectives of this study. The first one is to implement storytelling strategy in vocational high school students to improve their speaking skills. And the second is to enhance students' confidence in speaking English and create fluency in speaking. This is the significance of the study. For the school system, from the result of the study, it is expected for the school system to implement this method more often in different grades. And for the English teachers, from this result of the study, it is expected that English teachers could manage classroom activities communicatively using this technique. And for students, it is expected that they could motivate themselves and try to speak English as often as possible. This is the definition of the key terms. Speaking. Brown 2007 and Sharma 2018 states that the social interactive language functions is the key to understand not only what you say but how you say it. So this involved gesture, body language, eye contact, and other nonverbal message. And cooperative storytelling strategy. Sharma 2018 explained that an approach that has a great impact on oral production is the CLT, or communicative language teaching. This method assists learners to create meaningful phrases instead of repeating and just memorizing grammar structures. The chapter 2, review of related literature. Speaking. As an interactive process of constructing meaning, speaking gives a great essential along the learning of English language, since speaking involves producing, receiving, and processing information. It is based on Brown 1994 and Burns and Joyce 1997. In social context, language is used as a tool to deliver a message. That is why it is important to use the body language, gesture, eye contact, and other nonverbal message to deliver the message well. In teaching speaking, many have proposed different kinds of methods. However, to increase the performance of the speaking skill in English foreign language learners or EFL learners, they use and implement that the CLT gives a great influence because the CLT is an audiolingual method which is used to help students produce oral interaction. And then the cooperative storytelling strategy itself. The, stories, the storytelling is the art and skills of presenting stories and tales. This method helps learners to earn insight into the human's behavior and the situation. By telling stories, learners enrich their vocabularies and acquire new knowledge structures. It is also expected that storytelling could enhance the student's motivations and confidence. While in contextual study, learners need to use the language as often as possible with their peers. Therefore, it is important for learners to collaborate with their classmates. Then on the chapter 3, it is the research methodology. The research design, there are 4 stages. Of course, the research design is the classroom action research, but there are 4 stages. Planning, where you prepare a plan. Implementation, the implementation of the action plan. Observation, where you collect the data, the writer collects the data. And in reflection, where the writer writing report. Setting of the study, it is the first students who don't usually speak English in English class are now more confident to do so. And then students practice new vocabularies. This is the research procedure. After making the action plan, the writer started making pre-speaking tests, which the writer will explain in the next slides. Some students were selected to be asked some questions for the speaking test, and then did the pre-speaking test, and then analyze the result. After that, the writer implement the cooperative storytelling technique to improve their speaking proficiency through groups. So, in the pre-speaking task, the students were selected individually, but in implementing cooperative storytelling technique, the students were divided into groups, where in one group there will be 4 or 5 students. So first, the writer asked the student to watch short movies and then retell the story in the group chain. So in the group of 4 or 5, every student needs to retell the story of the movie that they just watched by taking turns. After some time, the writer changed the short movies into picture stories or picture description. Then asked the students to retell the story in a group by taking turns. And then the writer conducted a storytelling contest. This contest is done individually by the students to check the students' speaking proficiency. And then finally, the writer draw a conclusion. This is the data and source of the data. There are 2 data, that is general introduction and picture description. The criteria of the speaking test is the general introduction. It involves comprehension, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. And then it uses short movie and picture stories or picture description. Finally, the post test is storytelling contest, where the source of data is the vocational high school students themselves. This is the data collection method. The first step is writing a proposal of planning an observation at vocational high school, and then implementing the cooperative storytelling strategy, and then storytelling contest, where the writer will test their spelling and the speaking test, and then finally the writer draw a conclusion. The data analysis. The result of pre-test showed the students scored from the criteria of speaking test, where the criteria are the comprehension, vocabulary, grammar, fluency, pronunciation in percentage. After doing the pre-speaking test, the writer implement the cooperative storytelling strategy. And then finally, the result of the storytelling contest showed that the students' comprehension, vocabulary, grammar, fluency, and pronunciation were increased through the cooperative storytelling technique. And I think that is all for the chapter 3. I got the idea of this action research from Sharma. And then this is the appendices. This is the general introduction questions where these questions are being asked to the selected students. And this is some example of the picture description that the students are asked to retell, to make stories and retell this in a group chain. And thank you. That's all for me.